You have exposure to Apple. I think you've added to it recently. You know the Tesla story, but also Elon Inc. story really well when it comes to AI. How concerned are you about this situation with Elon Musk, essentially going after Apple?
Hi, Ed. Listen, I think everybody's acting to script. So, Elon will describe himself as someone who's programmed for war. This is one way for him to gain shelf space, is to raise awareness, to claim foul, and then hopefully get some concessions from Apple. In terms of the effect on Apple, I don't think it's going to be long-standing. I think there will be some sort of behind-the-scenes handshake, but it always matters where you get into these stocks. And so we were adding to Tesla at 240 during the tariff tantrums. At 333, I'm pretty happy with the holdings. And then we added to Apple last Tuesday. That was just sheer luck. And, we picked it off at 202. And we can wait around for things to right size. But I don't think this is the end of the App Store. And I don't think it's going to be a big headache. He's filed a lot of lawsuits that have gone into the Elon Musk lawsuit black hole. So I think we'll get some resolution.
He keeps lawyers busy, that's for sure. We're up 1.2% if you're looking at Apple's share price. So no one too worried, Nancy. But just dovetail a little bit of the AI opportunity within Tesla and why you're not adding to it at the moment, because there's been much made about whether they'd invest more broadly in XAI itself. There's a lot of cross-pollination that goes on.
Yeah, I think the cross-pollination would be good. I'd love to see Tesla absorb XAI. I use Grok religiously, and I just happen to think it's the best solution. I'd love to see more people utilize it and see the company continue to go deeper into the AI portions of their business and have it benefit Tesla shareholders. We'll see when we get the shareholder vote where the shareholders come down in terms of investing further. But I like the ecosystem. We're building out a strategy that focuses on all these new frontier, opportunities: quantum, nuclear, robotics, Gen AI, and in that we will have front and center. One of our largest holdings will be Tesla.
Nancy, I broke the story last week that Elon Musk requested that the Dojo project be shut down, and he confirmed it on Sunday in a post on X. And I reported today a lot of that engineering talent's been reassigned across their other chip efforts. How central was Dojo to your thesis with Tesla? Did you pay attention to that one?
Yeah, and congrats on the story, Ed. Yes and no. I mean, it was so nascent in its origins that we were watching it. We are certainly focused on quantum computing and the elements that will drive it, but we didn't have it in our expectations for future earnings growth. And I think that's a lot of what you have to do with Tesla and Elon. He's always thinking, trying, and then restarting. And so, we wait to see what's sustainable and where we think the direction of the firm is going. And, Caroline asked mentioned we haven't added to it recently. I mean, we will again. It's a pretty significant holding in our growth strategy. Not a member of our 12 best ideas because I can't handle the Elon volatility in the 12 best ideas portfolio. But right. I think they'll figure it out. They'll either partner, as it looks like they're going to, or they'll restart.
I love going back to that frontier fundamental analysis you're doing as well, Nancy, when you're looking at the opportunities in generative AI, whether it's quantum, some of the more forward-thinking things. In the here and now, when you own NVIDIA, and I know you've been exiting AMD, but when you're thinking about what the administration means for the future business, what China's own demand for chips means for the future business, how are you thinking about that story?
Yeah, this story is a little bit complicated, and you're probably going to get the cranky side of me. I think the precedent set by an administration that, is pay for playing is unseemly at best. I get why Jensen made the deal. I would have too. But for the president to say at a press conference, well, I told them you're going to have to pay us pay us something for this. That may have gone on behind the scenes. We probably had it in the last administration with Meta, but it was different, and I just don't think it's the way we want to conduct business in the United States. That said, we had written off China, investors had, not so very long ago. The company took, NVIDIA that is, took an $8 billion charge. And then, the Middle East opened up. So I don't think this
Right.
is going to be the death knell. I think China did exactly what you would have expected them to do, come out, in response to Jensen saying, keep China hooked on our products. They're going to come out and say, no, we don't need your products. So it'll settle somewhere in the middle, and we'll get incremental revenues and a little hit to margins.
Well, very quickly, China responded in some form. How much do you think they're trying to protect their own domestic chip names? Just very quick.
I think they are, of course, Ed, and I also think they're trying to get a better deal always out of the U.S. So stay tuned. I think we'll end up somewhere again in the middle.